How's it going, everybody? When I snuck in that Raider guard break punish in my Zhang video, a lot of people commented that they want to see more about the Raider changes. There really aren't that many things that changed, and I should say this before diving into the details. We don't know whether those changes are actually coming to the game. Maybe they were just testing stuff and forgot to remove that part from the test client. We also don't know whether that is the full extent of the planned changes, or maybe they're not planning any changes at all. Nothing here is certain, and everything is subject to change, so please keep that in mind. The first thing I did was recheck the values of all the attacks. The thing that stands out is that none of the values are what we expect. Ignoring the 1 frame recording errors, some attacks are 33 milliseconds faster. Emphasis on some. We know that their plan is to eventually move away from the 100 millisecond increments for attacks and thus to have more variance in attacks. Maybe that's them testing this already. That's also a reason why I think that this iteration of Raider isn't supposed to be in the test, but hey, who knows. These attacks are not consistent at all yet, and maybe it's something else that causes the different speeds and it's unintended. I can't tell. But moving on. If you've seen the Zhang video, you know he gets a side heavy on guard break now. The same goes for forward throws without the wall. This punish is unsafe though, and the opponent gets a guard break. To counter that, you need to throw a follow-up light. This needs to be done on read, and if the opponent expects it, he can obviously parry it. If you knee him into a wall, you also get a heavy. This requires you to throw the heavy from a side your opponent's guard isn't. You can switch your guard after the knee. Top heavy will never hit. The other spinning wall throws still seem to mostly act the same. Even the short distance throws now seem to consistently reward a heavy. Top still requires longer distance throws. Now, some of his parries also changed. He now gets a top heavy on every light parry. At first I thought it'll be the same as pre-parry changes, but even on static guard characters, parrying a top light gives a top heavy, which means 5 more damage. Obviously it's the same against assassin characters, just be sure to input buffer the top heavy. Heavy parry did not change, you still can't land the stunning tap. That's basically all the gameplay changes. Lot them specifically taught me that his stunning tap into other side heavy into stunning tap animation is now a lot more consistent. The little twirl now happens on buffered input, whereas previously you had to delay it ever so slightly. The other animation that has changed and that everyone has noticed already is his zone. A lot of people commented on it, and it seems like the new animation happens when the distance between the two people is quite big. After a certain point, he will go on his toes while performing the zone. And that's really it already. There's no added hype armor that people have been requesting for God knows how long. The dodge guard break also seems to still be the same. Shout out to Lord Dem, who I already mentioned, who gave me a few pointers on stuff to test, as well as people in my Discord who shared quite a bit of info. Makes my job here a lot easier, so thanks guys. Also huge thanks to all my staff helping with the testing and recording of stuff. If anyone has found additional stuff on Raider, feel free to share in the comments. So until then, thanks for watching, Laters, everybody.